Grab and pull. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the... He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. His own.
Good work, clever cogs. Let me guide you into the dark.
Seriously? I always thought better of you than that. There's still time to turn back.
They're already heading down my road.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date knows you'll make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there's two nearby. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes, in Jagni's case, letting the World Eaters another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Wonders why the Sifu would want to see you, but he'll let you in and give it a try. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. There were 6 of them, but the unity fell apart after Lupin attacked the old village. Soon after, they formed new tribes based on their own values, and when the Blight started, the animosity escalated to war. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. There says there has to be some dark so that light can prove its purity above it, and he could only hope for you to do that. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never take away their inner peace. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu, and once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share land again. Seeing you brings back... Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong, and didn't have much. Is sorry to see you turn so bad. Under Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Running low. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. You're not dead yet. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. He asks how you are today. Then he wants you to know that if you... He wonders where you've been. He understands Wang Fu is hard. That's why you're Muma. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. And he'll be honored. He says, that wasn't too bad, was it? Way to go. Don't let... But you need practice. Lots of practice. Great things usually happen to those... You just need more time in the surf. That's the... You can never try too hard. Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. You know you can't make up for loss. You should know, practice makes... As long as it doesn't kill you, it'll only make you stronger. She'll see you at the village square. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His own... He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig. He's happy to hear that from someone. You should look for things that are recyclable. He wonders what use. He said, that's the... He... You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He appreciates those able to deliver a sharp remark. He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. He thinks mastering the 6 weapon styles of Wang Fu is... He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants... Then you've... She wants you to grow up and start... You've always followed your own path, but this... Then start by meeting her on the village square and take it from there. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He says that it's not too late for you to turn back, though. He wants to know who you think you are. They push each other to become better, and sometimes someone gets pushed down along the way. She asks if you're... It's time to focus. Here's someone close to heart. Training. He's... He's curious. He says it's... He's... Your Muma says it's about time. Wants you to... Your Muma says you did well today. That's all. You should go. That... Catchy. Your Muma says she's figuring. It's called an automaton. You're lucky to... Your Muma says a rest and you'll find strength. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says there's nowhere to run to this time. The time has come to stand and fight. She tells you to stay back. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you be... Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity, when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. Blasting him. Right between the eyes. You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the Fluff Hulk out to the far Fnacky leaves and let it go. A group of myriad crusaders all... You should hurry there and help them best the outpost. You complete them. From this point on, the myriad is unbroken. Look, an emergency box from the old days. Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? find good use for things like that.
Smash that trash!
Down here, you can feel protected and trapped at the same time. You're grown wiser. All that exercise helps. Stylish as stylish can be. That notice board, filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place. Toxanol never cared about the waste, as long as they didn't have to pay to clean it up. There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. Just hope it's not buried. You don't have to leave the forest till you're ready. You found the whereabouts, the deepest, darkest forest in the land, sometimes hard to see for all the trees. That's a Jagni tribe outpost. Teeth shatterer. Halfway there. And a misfit. It's been a long night, but biohazard makes your skin crawl. Mercadorpa's outpost, a Jagni tribe stronghold. Let's see. Says it's time to set the outpost free. Inflict as little damage as possible as you make your way through to the rival captain. Clarifies that rigging the odds in your favor in preparation of the takeover is one thing, but collateral damage is another. Here's the first line of defense. That's a bomb lobber. That hit the spot, wrecked it. That twirly wheel works that drain pipe. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Everything's clocking together. just rattle those keys. Keep going. That cage is holding a helper. They never lost hope you'd come, but weren't sure if they'd last long enough. Wants revenge on those who caged them. A sharpshooter. The scaffolding looks unstable. Here's the second line of defense. Better stay clear of the red ray. Timber. Bet a big bump will bring it down. Switched off the light. A barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it, then hit it toward the gate and blast it. That looks sploding. Shoot it and watch it blow. Not too close, though. Kaboom! You're in. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger. Says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You've earned the privilege of carrying the tribe's weapon. Figures the honor belongs to the tribe, too. Out of Date says he's doing his best to keep up, but from what he can tell, it seems you're making progress with the tribe He had a feeling you'd get along with the Myriad tribe, but it remains to be seen what the future holds for you. You see, but Out of Date That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's forebodings are justified. The jumbo puff needs to be taken care of. He says the time has come to confront the jumbo puff at the end of the west route. Gizmo is working on making his Mekton strong enough to endure the oxygen-deprived dead zone all the way out to the World Eater. You should get over there and see what you can do to help. Breathe in that day shine. Tells you to enjoy the day and the night. We'll be around. Flattering. Shopkeeper claims you won't be able to find better goods anywhere else. Hopes you're selling too. They're always looking to replenish their store. That went well. As long as you're happy about it. Healthier than ever. Let's see. Let's see. Make sure you don't walk off a cliff while you're night blind. Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. The board mainly has posts from those that used to work at the chug yard back in the days gone. They don't make much sense these days. Not much more to say about the board, but Gizmo is holed up in the underyard here working on that mekton of his. The Toxanol Corporation used to run chugger-chuggers up. The rails used to be filled with chugs packed tight with two-leggeds, like guppos in a tin. Don't get turned around among the trees. Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. Bomper bonkers busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. don't have it in you right now. Make that one dead. Your key energy isn't up for that. That's a good find. Let's see. The plague that's ruining the land needs to be stopped. This box once tailed a chugger-chugger. Now it's just off track. Look at that, right in the chug yard. Follow the rails and you'll find all sorts of little... Of course not, but they get you closer to wherever you might want to go. You can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. Someone has to end this plague before it's too late. Ooh-wee, that's biohazard. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. Combined, this sent... I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling he believes it was you that caused the bang at the yard. Oh, and he says he knows you. You used to call him Gizmo. He gave you the oil-greased hands when he taught you how to upcycle. Gizmo remembers you as a nice kidling, and he can still sense the warmth of your good heart. But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. You know the story, but sometimes the truth it brings is personal. He hopes you remember that one time he taught you to upcycle, and hopes you've had some use for it over the years. Gizmo says he also has re-memories from the long gone, but unlike you, he doesn't think of the past, for it's gone. You still... He says you should know that what's meant to be will always find a way, but history shouldn't consume you. Gizmo encourages that. You should forgive, but never forget. It'll provide some comfort to your soul and keep the memory of lost loved ones in your heart.
Fan that flame!
Wait, no! Bright light blinds! It's dangerous!
I've got all the...
Oh, do you have to insult me over this?
I don't have to, but I want to.
Would like to know if you ever doubt the choices you made on the path that brought you to this point. Supposes that's all any of us can do. Hard to believe the world is actually going to survive. Just seemed impossible till now. Grateful to you for coming back and doing your best to change things. You were the only chance they had. Wonders if you liked working with the Myriad. They always seemed so centered and so seeking. Figures everyone does. They seem unusually dedicated to finding them. But that's not important now. Gizmo says it's taken a long time to bring the past up to the present, and where you go from here is up to you. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. He can't leave the underyard as he has no protection against the vacuum in the dead zone, so you need to salvage scrap to upcycle the Mekton, starting with the old crate outside. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the Mekton strong. Nothing's more important right now than this. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. You'd better get a move on if you want to change things. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. That's the leftover you're looking for. Looks like the switches need to be turned to match, so enough charge can... Just a few moves left. Make them count. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Bristles like the hair of... Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. You can see the horizon now. Better than nothing. Even more impressive. Time to... Make something useful. A double-edged sword. Did it just get quieter? He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun, and a gathering net, but no... He made a suction device, so the Mekton can use the black tar as an instant refuel. You can also use it to clear oily goo puddles, so you can pass and access hard-to-get-to areas. He's been working on another project for the Mekton, a cannon, but it needs ammunition, and by that he means the scripts. He says if they're trained right, they'll turn into a distraction for the Jumbo Puff. The best way to find scripts is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the dead zone than Moog's camp on the Steep Depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find scripts. It's a little feisty and tough critter, a perfect fit for a live ammunition, if you ask him. Getting that much closer to perfect. Take your time and enjoy the daylight. The Grease Monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone. Kaboom! Imagine that. You could just go to a place like this to get a proper meal back in the old world. Boom. The birds don't have enough flaps to fly. Some places a Mekton just can't go. Guess you still want more than that. Keep your feet beneath you. Crack-a-doo. Can't rely on technology all the time. So little alive here. All fired up. Little lives here. There's a place and time for everything, but for that city scenario, it's already come and gone. Head on. Stay deady steady. Only you can pull you up. Let's see. Right out. metal. Almost there. What a glorious ride. That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. Flex those arms. Let's see. This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead by now. Not me. Claims he goes after the most dangerous game, huge monsters. Moog says that all your power doesn't do you a bit of good if you're not willing to pull the trigger when the time comes. Choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make. You might have a steady aim, but you need to be sure that you pick your targets with care. It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. Otherwise, they'll do it themselves, and you know they'll miss. Claims he mostly kills whoever he doesn't like. Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot. Wonders why you work so hard to keep things alive. Bullets help thin the herd instead. Says you should give up on working with the stubborn Myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones. He's a He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed. Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short. Says as big as they are, the world... Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter. Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big. Thinks you have bigger issues than your so-called haunting skills if you're going to nitpick on his grammar. This won't end well. It'll end fantastic! In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. Wait! It's the Scrip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. Great shot. Time to walk on your own legs. Now, this is the way to travel. Heroes are only heroes for others. Locked solid. Once the volatilization from the nuclear waste evaporated, a volatile gas rose through the soil and infested structures, even Toxanol's own buildings. So, in a way, they caused their own death. Oh, idea. Go knock the lid off that sludge truck. It'll fill the place up and you can get up to that entrance there. Just listen. You might hear something important. Not just from me. You're a mighty hunter. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the act. A Reaper? Now this is what you could call a more rider. Fasten that hatch and go Trumbull. He says that's enough scripts to sustain the Mekton's claw crane cannon with infinite ammunition. Well done. It's not his cleanest invention so far, but it gets the job done. Use it to suck up gooey oil puddles in the Mekton's way so you can pass. Gizmo's made vehicles before to confront the Jumbo Puff himself, but failed. But this time, it's different. The Mekton will be strong enough to do the job. It's time to put a stop to the World Eater now, otherwise he fears the damage it's caused to the tree already will be too much to handle. He asks you to not even think about taking on the Jumbo Puff on foot. You'll need the Mekton to do the job, take his word for it. There's time to improve the Mekton before you confront the Puff. There are more wreck boxes out in the dead zone with gear you should be able to equip the Mekton with on your own. He's sure you remember enough of what he taught you about upcycling to fit some skronky gear to the Mekton on your own. Gizmo wants to help if he can. The tree will wither unless you care for it. Understands why you strayed so far from your mother's path and says it's a shame it's come to that. Hopes to see you again soon. Gizmo wants to help if he can. You need to help Gizmo defeat the Jumbo Puff before... Thinks you're... Has plenty... Gizmo wants to help if he can. Understands you have things to do.